Welcome back aboard BLERD Force 1 with your boys Mo and Ladi. And today we are reviewing X-Men 97 episodes 1 and 2. They're entitled To Me, My X-Men and Mutant Liberation Begins. And they are all streaming on Disney+. So, what do we think about them and should you be watching? And before we get into this review, get down there, hit like on this video. Ladi, this was something special when that theme hit, right? Right? Am I wrong? Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know about you. I went back and watched some of X-Men, the animated series. I didn't watch all of it like I meant to because, it's 78 episodes. But I watched the first couple seasons leading into this. And, man, that they brought the theme song back. We saw the trailer for it and everything like that. Kind of got hyped about it and everything like that. But like that theme song hitting was that it hit. What did they say? It hit different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it still sounded the same. We got these first 2 episodes of a 10 episode first season. They pick up almost immediately. Almost immediately after the season finale of the original series from back in 1996, I guess, 97. It last aired. And the first episode basically features, hey, the X-Men are here and we're dealing with, the fact that mutants are a lot more accepted, but the Friends of Humanity are still out there causing a ruckus. But, we're going to be the premier superhero team for mutants. And then in the second episode, they're dealing with Magneto, who has, come to basically take over the X-Men from Charles Xavier's will, kind of gave him the keys to the kingdom, so to speak, and to try to lead the X-Men. But first, he has to sort of stand trial for his crimes. And in the meantime, the Friends of Humanity got some bullshit going on in the background. It's a lot of stuff going on in this, basically 40 minutes worth of stuff. So with all that being said, Ladi, did it take you back to the 90s, or were you feeling this? Did you like it?
Nothing could have prepared me for the epicness of this show. I was not expecting this to be this damn good. Listen, and it's universally praised. I'm seeing people who I don't even know that are into like comic book stuff. Like, I'm seeing video game channels going like, this show has no right to be this damn good. And I'm watching it, having one of those like nerd pop-offs as I'm watching it. And first of all, here's my first thing. How dare you? How dare you give Storm such badassery and then do what you did to her in second episode? You motherfuckers, man. Pain me deep in my soul.
Oh my God. You know what? The beauty of all of this is, and I'm going to let you keep talking. I just wanted to say this. This show, the original series, came out at a time where X-Men were huge in the comics. Absolute. X-Men #1 back in I want to say 93. It's one of the, it was a multi-million selling comic. This is during the Chris Claremont, the heyday of Chris Claremont, who is arguably the best creator on X-Men. Created a lot of things that you know and love about the X-Men. And this show features a lot of the things that he did in his run. And this show, 97, clearly wants to keep on making that happen because it fixed the Executioner and the Extinction Agenda. That's a big deal back in the 90s. That was a big crossover amongst the X-Men titles. So, like I said, I'm going to let you get back to it. But the point is that the reason why it feels so similar, because it is picking up the storyline from when the series stopped. And that's still around that era. So this is a super 90s thing, and it feels right for a reason. So, yeah. The epicness you were saying.
And don't get me started with my motherfucker Magneto. Probably the best
someone said
representation of Magneto.
someone said the M stands for mother, and I was like, you get out of here.
This motherfucking Magneto. Man, I literally when I saw him, I was like, when I heard his voice, I said, there he go. There he fucking go.
Oh shit.
I can't even get the words to like fully explain how I feel about this show because it's legitimately good. Like it's like you said, it feels so damn 90s. Oh my goodness. And that's the thing. That's one of the things that's praised about the show is that their attention to detail of making this show in 1997, they weren't joking. You know, like the person I was watching it with, they were like, why are they? They're like, wait. Why don't they just pick up a cell phone and call or do this? I said, the show is in 1997.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And that's something that the attention to detail that they didn't forget. And they even made it feel like it was still in the 90s. You know what I mean? Because we all know what was happening in the real world in the 90s. It was the Gulf War and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So it kind of felt like the world, you know, Gulf War and all that stuff was happening during the time of during that time. And man, listen. Could not prepare me for the epicness of that show.
I think I loved not just the continuity in terms of style, the continuity in terms of the storytelling. I think the animation is a good mix of modern techniques and a kind of a throwback to what they were doing back then, right? So it's basically trying to mimic the style, but with also modern. So there's a lot more action and it's a lot more fluid. You'll notice, like in the intro, it's a lot more fluid. There's more stuff going on. They recreated certain aspects of the original intro, but they added more frames and more dynamic action. Beautiful. In terms of the characterization, spot on everywhere. Of top to bottom. People were like sort of shitting on the Logan's voice actor in the trailer, but I have zero complaints about him in this show. Absolutely on point. Every characterization's on point. I love Morph. Morph is like, because they have the money to do it, he's morphing into other people more. Like in the second episode when he's fighting Executioner, he morphs into Psylocke and Colossus and Lady Deathstrike. Like he's doing all of that cool ass shit. He's a lot more interesting as a character. Jubilee and her little interaction with Roberto da Costa, aka Sunspot, that was great. But let's be honest, like Cyclops is the shit in these two episodes. My God, that man he's the Cyclops I know from the comics who runs this shit, Like
yes.
Oh my, and him leading the team in the field, kicking ass, loved it. Absolutely loved Cyclops getting his due. He, even when he has to defer to Magneto later on, it's still pretty great. Storm, goddess. Just call it what it is, right?
Yes.
She's going so hard in both of these episodes. I was thinking when I watched the old show, I was like, man, like they're really like overly dramatic with her voice acting. And I don't, yeah, it's true, but I love it. I think I want to say, I think the writing is a little stronger for her character in this series than it was in the original series, because she doesn't sound as weirdly like she's reading off of a script. She sounds like a woman with a regal voice that's talking, like she should talk, not reading a script. I really, really enjoy that. Yes, spoiler alerts, in this second episode, she basically takes a bullet for Magneto, literally, and it depowers her. And it's a surprisingly emotional moment, when it's clear her losing her powers is her losing a major part of herself. I really like that whole little character arc. We'll talk about Magneto in just a second. I just wanted the only other thing I wanted to say was the whole Jean Grey. Who is this other Jean Grey? Everything. I'd like that's a huge storyline, and it's really they sort of were hinting at it in the first episode with the whole little psychic link with Trask, but who is this other Jean Grey? And who is Jean? She has her baby and everything like that. But super dramatic, super interesting. And so let's talk about the Magneto thing. And so like episode 1, they rescue Roberto da Costa from the Friends of Humanity. They find out the Friends of Humanity have, they've been getting tech from like Sentinel stuff, and they just they're trying to figure out who it is. We also find out that they are working closely or are in good standing with Val Cooper, who is if you remember from I think from the original show, she works for the government. She basically a liaison with mutants affairs or whatever. But in this one, she is basically the top cop surrounding mutant stuff. But they find out, Stryker is sort of working with somebody. An Executioner ends up being one of those. Now, Ladi, when we come to the trial of Magneto, which is a big story in the comic books, where this is all drawn from, he's leading the X-Men. He decides to be a good guy. And then they're like, no, we need to bring him to heel for all the shit he did. And he's like, all right, I'll play by the rules. I'll do the right thing. And I will have presumably a fair trial where I can defend myself. And he's going to do it in front of the UN, and that gives the Friends of Humanity and the Executioner the opportunity to take a shot at him. I think that episode, that's one of the best damn episodes of superhero, or best superhero media like has ever been made. I'm no lie, I really feel that. I don't know if you feel the same.
I definitely feel like these 2 episodes of this show, in my opinion, is one of the best things superhero animated outside of Invincible. It's like this and Invincible are the best thing animated superhero that I've seen that is mature. It's the best I've ever seen. Yeah, it is the best I've ever seen. And I'm not saying that lightly.
Yeah, it's that episode. Episode 2 is the thing about it is, and this is a lot of the talk going on social media about this. When we talk about fans and people who don't fucking get it, they can't. People that have called this shit, they were mad about Morph being non-binary and wokeness and blah, blah, all the buzzwords from shitty fans who don't seem to understand, what the X-Men are about. They think it's just powers, and they were too young to understand, or now that they're older, they willfully try not to understand that X-Men is about prejudice and othering, and who gets to be considered a real person and who gets to be mistreated because they're not like us. That sort of thing. It's been an allegory, but this is less allegory. As I was watching the episode with Magneto on trial, and these Friends of Humanity come busting in, and I was like, oh, y'all, you motherfuckers aren't even gonna pretend like this isn't a straight up callback to January 6th. It is straight up a callback to it. Y'all aren't gonna pretend like, oh, when the Executioner gives his little spiel to Scott about why he's doing what he's doing. Oh, it sounds exactly like the fucking Proud Boys or any of these other white nationalist bullshit, supremacist groups. Oh, or any of this shit that's going on, talking about white replacement. It's literally almost word for word. Just replace, mutant, human with white people, or replace mutant with, any other, minority group that you want to hate. And I was like, wow, you guys are gonna just straight up not even sugarcoat it. You're not even gonna try to put layers. There's no layers. This is just you. And if you identify If you get, if you identify with the X-Men, cool. You maybe you're on the right side of history. If you found yourself talking like fucking Executioner, maybe reconsider your life choices. It's unbelievable that this is a thing we get to watch. Magneto's trial and the way it plays out and the way he's remember, what did he say? Oh, to play by the rules and still they condemn you. I was like, fuck, man. How are y'all going this hard right now? And then Ladi, when he lifts everybody into the air, lifts the judges into the air, and Executioner, and he's like, never again, right? He's like, he literally says, if you love different, or if you look different, or you have a different skin color or a different gender, they're gonna hate you and all this other stuff. And he's like, I'm trying to be better, but y'all don't make me let you down. The double meaning of we're high in the air, and if I let you down right now, you're all gonna fucking die. But also, if you make me turn back to the old me, y'all are gonna fucking die. And I was like, I literally, while I was watching, I was like, oh yeah, he's literally just saying, y'all lucky it ain't me. Y'all lucky it ain't the old me. If it was the old me, none of you, I would crush all of you bitches, and it wouldn't be a thing. And I was like, man, god damn it, epic. Sorry, I've been running on a bit. That whole fucking bit, one of the best damn, it's just one of the best damn things I've seen on TV in a while.
I completely agree.
Yes.
You have no disagreement from me at all. Like, it was good. It was good. And like I said, those damn, and it's like they said, and it's like Magneto even said, you guys are talking about how much you want to stop this, because it's just true. I was talking to my friend about it, and they're like, I was watching it with she was like, well, Magneto can't be mad that Magneto can't be mad at them, because how are they supposed to stop the Friends of Humanity? And I told her, I was like, you see how fast they found Magneto?
Yeah. Not like
you're telling me they don't. You're telling me you're really telling me that they don't know where the Friends of Humanity are?
Yeah.
And she was like, damn. I say, you see what they did you see what they brought to escort Magneto away. You're really telling me they're giving their best to stop those people? No, they're not.
Yeah, and the thing is that unlike in our real world, where there are plenty of keyboard warriors and there's plenty of people talking shit online, and there's plenty of people showing up to school board meetings talking about banning books or banning DEI or banning this or that's, they're just citizens that are mad, and they're voicing, and they're, they're not doing anything except stoking hate, right? But in terms of actually doing anything, the Friends of Humanity are like that, but they're actually kidnapping mutants, and they're, throwing bricks and firebombing and all this other shit, right? They're doing terrorist shit. So yeah, in our world, that wouldn't fly, even if you were being a terrorist in favor of Donald Trump or in favor of, Ron DeSantis or whatever. They'd still fucking arrest your ass, right? But in this world, the Friends of Humanity are still running around doing shit. So yeah, it makes makes you think that either they're incompetent or they just don't want to find these people on purpose. So this is definitely a worse world in terms of being a mutant. But it's interesting because Magneto is just like, he is so close to fucking killing everybody, and they just don't know. They just don't understand. This is a dude who, set up Asteroid M. He set up Genosha. He's doing all. He is trying to do what Charles wants, but don't fucking push him. That's what he's saying, right?
Yeah.
And so I did kind of love the fact that he got kind of exonerated, because to be fair, his argument was pretty much like, hey, this is very much echoing sort of Malcolm X. Hey, I'm responding to violence against me and my people with violence. And don't give, it's always funny to me that the people, the majority will commit violence and then be mad and be like, it's so uncouth to commit violence in response. I'm like, no, I'm gonna fucking defend myself. And if you have a problem with it, maybe open your fist and stop throwing weapons at me. Like, anyway, I could go on and on. We're 20 minutes on this, but I think they were excellent episodes, and I'm highly anticipating the next ones. So, anyway, I think that's all of our thoughts on these episodes. But what did you guys think about it? What did you think about what we had to say? Get down to the comment section, leave your thoughts there. And of course, you can always hit us up, supernotfunnyshow@gmail.com. It's blerd_force 1 on Threads and Instagram, and it's super_not_funny show on TikTok. All right, thanks for joining us. Come back next week. We're going to talk about episode 3 of X-Men 97. Till then, I've been Mo, your comedy extraordinaire on all things pop culture, joined by the anime expert, video game designer, and lover of all things superhero, my good friend Ladi. We'll see you guys on the other side of the thread. Peace.
Peace.